Hey, today I'm talking about 3 1980s Hong Kong kung fu films featuring American actor Cynthia Rothrock. And the names of those 3 films are Top Squad, Righting Wrongs, and City Cops. First up is Top Squad. This is a 1988 kung fu comedy film. It has another English name, but I don't really like that name, so I'm just gonna call it Top Squad. But the basic premise is a little confusing at first. I honestly have no idea what happened in the beginning. The subtitles for this film were not great, so I was a bit confused at times. But essentially, the Hong Kong Police Department realizes that they need to make more elite female officers. So they develop a little academy, a squadron of women, to turn them into elite police officers. And so it's kind of just like a police academy sort of thing. And it's really fun and funny. Like, it's really smart and clever. The women are all badasses, but they're also just like complete round characters. Like, they have all wants and needs and struggles. And of course, like, the men are sexist, but like the women get lots of comeuppances. So like, even though there is a lot of very blatant gross sexism, it's always the women coming out on top. The kung fu in it is good. There's not a ton of it, but I just really connected with the story, and I just had so much fun watching this movie that I'm just like, yeah, even though I could have used some more like really crazy stunts, what we got for stunts was really solid. And then on top of that, it's just like, it's a really good story. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie and would wholeheartedly recommend it. You want a good, fun, funny kung fu movie? This is it. This is great. It's delightful and charming and just a blast. Next up is Righting Wrongs. This is a 1986 kung fu action film, and the basic premise is a number of people involved in the law, in particular a lawyer, aren't the happiest with how it seems the law tends to be pretty lenient on the criminals, if not even helping them. So they decide to take matters into their own hands. But then when the lawyer does that, there's a cop that's like, yo dude, you can't break the law, I'm gonna get you. And so it's basically a number of good people doing bad things for good reasons, but maybe some of them take things even too far. And yeah, it's also really good. This one in particular has some incredible action set pieces. Every single fight, I was just like, hot damn, that's so good. It's so impressive. How are you doing all of this? And like, the story is pretty good too. It was, again, a little confusing because the subtitles weren't great. They were better than the last movie, but there were still some issues with some bad translation stuff. But even with that issue I had, I still was able to really enjoy this film, which really just goes to show how good this movie is. Even though I was struggling with understanding what was going on, I still got it and it still connected to me. So yeah, I, again, totally without a doubt would recommend this movie. If you're leaning more towards you want good action, this is definitely the one to check out. Like, the other one's great and has good action, but this has some of the most impressive action set pieces I've seen. It's so incredibly impressive, kung fu wise. So yes, definitely recommend. And lastly is City Cops. This is a 1989, I guess technically, kung fu comedy. And the basic premise is there's some bad stuff happening. An FBI agent gets brought in, but she's a woman. And so these city cops are like, we can handle stuff on our own. And then they do, but they're also idiots. And it's really not good. This movie really did not work. A lot of it has to do with basically the 2 leads, the 2 like city cops. They're really homophobic and sexist. And it's really gross. Like, there was a 5-minute joke about AIDS. I mean, I get it, it's the 80s, but like, it was gross. Also, like, there's a character that might be gay or might be transgendered. It's really unclear what's going on there, and it's really unclear what the point of it is, if it's all just supposed to be a joke, which it's probably that it's all meant to be kind of like a weird gay joke thing. And just, yeah, no, I really did not care for this movie. Those 2 guys are just the absolute worst. Cynthia was fine, but she's not in the movie a lot, so she didn't really help a ton. So yeah, I really did not care for this one, and I do not recommend it. It's a really gross, dumb little movie. All Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Top Squad sitting at number 30 in the Really Like section. And then after that, not too terribly far down, is Righting Wrongs sitting at number 40. Also in the Really Like section. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is City Cop, sitting at number 236 in the Didn't Like section. And this is at a total of 249 old movies so far this year.